Hello and welcome to Public Report. I'm your host, Desiree Hord. Our guests today in the studio are ReDonna Rodgers. She's the CEO of the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, as well as Clyde Tinnen, and he's one of the board members. Our issue is economy, and our topic is youth entrepreneurs. It's so nice to have both of you on the program today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This question is actually going to be for both of you. So what I'd like you to do is start off telling us about yourselves and your position for you, ReDonna, as the CEO of the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, and then Clyde, how you serve on the board of directors. So I'll start with you, ReDonna.
As co-founder of the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, my life prior to CTE was working with young people in a variety of mentoring and advocacy types of programming and prevention programs. So that is my legacy to service the young people. And then I evolved into wanting to do something with youth around their assets, not just focusing on the things that weren't going right in their lives, but helping them to assess the skills that they had, hobbies, interests, how they can impact the community through creating opportunities. And thus, an opportunity came for me to start the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship.
Wonderful. And then Clyde, how do you serve? A little bit about yourself and how you serve.
Right out of college, actually, I worked with youth many years, do different after-school programs and running summer camps, and really enjoyed that. But about 8 years ago, I became a lawyer and found a different path for my career, but still had that itching to sort of be involved with youth, and just fell in love with the mission of CTE and saw it as a great fit with what I do professionally, which is help businesses raise capital and then take their businesses to the next level.
Okay, wonderful. And then ReDonna, if you could give us a brief overview of CTE and what your mission is.
Our mission is to help young people become the CEO of me. And we do that through entrepreneurial thinking types of programs and financial literacy programs and personal coaching. And through that, what we're trying to do is make that connection between the economy and education so they can see how opportunities can be for them if they have a certain type of skills, certain type of educational levels, so that we say your life is your business and your business can be your life. So we take all these different programs like My Biz, which is a weekly program that can go from 8 weeks all the way to 32 weeks, from being the CEO of me types of programs to I Can Be My Own Boss programs, which is a short-term program for young people who actually have businesses. So that's our focus, is to just will them in and say, your life is your business. We want you to be the CEO of me. What can we do to support you? We're going to educate you on business terminology, business practices, and then we will support you in all your endeavors related to your career planning right now in this stage in your life. And then we'll be your friend forever. So you can always come back, and we'll do letters of references. We'll critique everything about you, and we'll support you.
So tell me how young people have been affected by the economy and the number of jobs that are or are not available to them.
Young people who, just like adults, who may not have a dedicated level of education in a specific area, or who are not flexible, they're going to find it, just like adults do, a difficult marketplace for them. If a young person has developed skill sets around communication, technology, if they have a certain amount of confidence when they can represent themselves when they go anywhere, whether it's an entry-level position or if they've been in school for a couple years, if they've had internships, they're going to find the economy, they may not work in their career like what they're going to school for now, or maybe what they studied in school, but we found our graduates are employable when they graduate from high school or college, and even when they're in high school, because they understand employment, they understand business, and they're ready to pursue something and articulate their skill sets when they interview with people. So when I see young people who are not working, I find it's more around their tenacity to a degree. I find it more around their skill sets, and then their ability to sell themselves and be persistent. The marketplace is not easy for any person that is not pliable, basically.
Okay. And then Clyde, this question is for you. Why do you believe it's important to teach young people that they can be entrepreneurs so they can help the economy?
Sure. Entrepreneurs are really the engine of the economy. I know statistics, say that probably 90% of new jobs are created by small businesses. So particularly as the economy has struggled and people have found it very difficult to compete for jobs, whether it be on the basis of lack of experience or lack of education, it's a new opportunity for them to develop their own ideas and to create their own businesses. Like most people, self-esteem is sort of built up by the knowledge and sort of acknowledge the fact that you can do something well. And so to the extent that they have a passion for anything that they can then, translate into a business, it's a great opportunity for them to build something, build a community, as well as sort of obviously be passionate about what they do.
Right. And why is it important to teach young people to think like an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I think it's really, really important because for two reasons. One is sort of, talking to about the self-esteem issue I was talking about before. When you value yourself and value what you can do specifically, you can achieve great things. And then the second piece with mentoring is very often, people always look at others and they have this image of sort of, whether it be perfection or putting someone on a pedestal for, so I always use the example of Michael Jordan. There was a day when Michael Jordan had never laced up sneakers or had never shot a basketball, but he had someone there that taught him the basic skills to do so. And anything that you do in life, whether it be learning how to make a pizza, whether it be learning how to build a house, you had to start somewhere. And so mentors play a great role in demystifying that process and demystifying sort of what it means to be an engineer, what it means to be a doctor, what it means to be a lawyer for that matter.
And how are you able to find mentors in the community that are willing to work with young people?
I think it's fantastic that most professionals, when they do achieve some level of success, however they define that for themselves, they are really generous about sharing that talent and sharing their experience with young people. Mostly because it's inspiring and sort of edifies how they accomplish what they did, and it also gives them a very good, a very tangible source of inspiration as that young person develops and matures, and they see the results that come from that relationship.
Okay, and then ReDonna, this is for you. How important is it for them to learn financial skills so that it does affect the economy?
It's important for them to learn financial skills because truly, even a small business that requires $50 to start or $100 to start, you have to get it from somewhere. And then when you're running your business, you have to know what your expenses are, what your revenues are. So financial awareness, financial literacy plays a part in the business side of it. But on a personal note, to understand your values, where you get your behaviors from, how you view money, how you understand economy is crucial. If you think you owed something, you respond to money differently, you'll manage it and handle it differently. Your ideas like Clyde is talking about, looking at yourself to be responsible for decisions you make, developing yourself, it can be a challenge. But if you understand you have a role in the economy, if you produce and provide, you will reap some benefits from that. And those benefits that you receive, you have to be good stewards of those benefits because it's a blessing for you to have that. So that's why when we look at business, you know, where are you going to get the money from? Your family, you get savings, birthday, and then when you get the money, you have sales, what do you do with the money? How do you manage it? Do you just make a sale, then you go spend it right away, or do you reinvest back in your business? What do you do? And when you have troubles, how do you manage those troubles? How do you have a team of people that can help you with those things? Sometimes people, we had students, their businesses grew, and they had to go get money from other individuals, but because they were trustworthy and people saw they had managed their money before, well, they were able to help them.
Okay, and then Clyde, this is for you. How important to the local economy are business startups?
They're very important. They provide an opportunity for new growth in new areas. It's hard to imagine probably 30 or 40 years ago how many tech jobs there would be in the greater Milwaukee area. But now there's an abundance of those type of roles, and there's the next great innovation is just right around the corner. And typically it's those young people with all the the energy and enthusiasm and just the creativity, and not sort of stuck in the old ways like myself and others, that they are the ones that can actually drive that. So those jobs, those new technologies actually usually translate into new jobs, new opportunities, and as ReDonna said, new capital to the area.
And then Clyde, what skills and character traits are needed to be a successful business owner?
Sure, you have to have some ability to take risk. Unfortunately, there is no reward without risk. So you have to be capable and confident in yourself that I have a great idea, that I know how to seek out people that can help me cultivate and grow that idea, and I'm willing to put in the work to actually accomplish idea. At the end of the day, there are no promises though. So you do have to be resilient. Go with with the flow. There could be ups and downs, as ReDonna says. People have great starts, and then occasionally they need additional capital, and that's not unlike any other large company as well. And be confident in yourself that you can survive those valleys, and that you can climb the next mountain that comes ahead.
Now, ReDonna, this is for you. Have you found that young people are surprised that they can actually have an impact on the economy around them?
Yes, because that's a sense of power. And what you're talking about, Clyde, was talking about self-esteem. We say that young people need experiences and exposure where they can experience incremental success. When they find themselves wanting to work, particularly when they're under 16, used to be a time you could work, people would have hired you at 14, but now just with the number of young people, you have to be 16. So the young people under 16, they still want to work. When they see that there are opportunities where they can create ventures, that's such a lift for them. When they find out what's possible, even the teenagers that are working now, they're like, okay, well, we say you can work a job, you can work for someone else, and you can do both because of the great country that we do live in. You have that option. So for us, we see the breakthrough for young people and their level of, okay, I can be responsible, I have a voice, I can make a difference. I don't have to just be on the sidelines. And that's very empowering, but you have to put them in a position where they can experience that.
And then Clyde, just thinking with what she said, have you found young people that were disheartened because of maybe a lack of jobs, and then they became encouraged when they found out that they could start their own business?
Absolutely. It is very discouraging if you go to interviews, and again, unfortunately, not every job interview is going to work out the way you want it to either. But to actually come away from those interviews with different ideas, or to come back and reflect upon sort of what your experiences have taught you. For example, someone coming up with a resume writing business after not getting several jobs, to say, well, when I finally do get the job, what worked, and using that skill to help another student and other adults actually to do that is really, really inspiring. So it can be very difficult to hear no when you're looking for a job, but it's also, again, sometimes it points out opportunities that are available to you.
Right. And then ReDonna, this was for you. I'm thinking about what he just said about someone coming up with a resume writing business. So how do you take young people that maybe have an idea and take that idea to actually turning it into a business that can affect their economy?
Well, we first make sure that they have strong interest in the risk-taking part of it, that this is going to take time. This is not something that you'll do really quick. You have to invest time, you have to find your financing, regardless whether it's $20 for a batch of business cards or paper for the resume writing, whatever it might be. And then we work with them on a business plan. Because a lot of times in the adult world, if you have your own money and you don't need to borrow money from anyone, you really don't need a business plan unless you want to chart out and start your business off knowing some of the risks, some of the challenges you might face. But we want them to start as young people to think through this idea fully. What is your product? What is your service? How do you price it? Why did you price it that way? Where do you get your inventory from? All those elements. So they go through a business plan, and then when they do that, they see, wow, this takes a lot. So now, okay, now are you ready? And then we go in step by step to say, that's how we're going to get this started. Then they have to set goals based on timelines. And if they desire to do so, we say, if you can get something launched between 12 months and 18 months, that's good. If it's something you can start quicker to test it out, or if you need to go work for someone that's doing this, that's even better. But let's go and look more down the road here, so you can have as much information as possible. Because I don't care what you do, how much knowledge you have. When you start any kind of business, lawnmowing business, if you start a law firm, any business you start, there's going to be those moments of something will happen, like, wow, I didn't know this one, because you never know until you're doing it. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for both of you being on the program today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We've been speaking with ReDonna Rodgers. She's the CEO of the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, as well as Clyde Tinnen, one of the board members. Our issue has been economy, and our topic, youth entrepreneurs. Thank you for viewing Public Report.